Hi readers, it's Diane. I had the opportunity to be home last week, and it was really a forced opportunity. And I brought home a book called Great Circle by Maggie Shipstead. It comes in at just under 600 pages. And if you've been watching these videos, you know that that is a book that I pretty much shy away from. But it came highly recommended by a close friend of mine, and I said, all right, I'm going to read this book, 600 pages of this book. And let me tell you, it is my first 5-star book of 2023. It is that good. I read the whole thing, and I got toward the end, and it was almost like I just didn't want to end. It was so good. It's a beautifully written book. This author is someone who savors words. She had great character development. The plot was lovely. And it's pretty much about, it's a novel, but it's about Marion Graves, who is this fictitious female pilot. And she taught herself to fly, and she had other guys teaching her how to fly back in the early 1900s. And it's about her, and then the other character is an actress who has been portraying her in a movie about Marion's life. So it goes back and forth with different time periods, different characters. Every page is to be savored. I highly recommend it. My first 5-star book of 2023, Great Circle by Maggie Shipstead.
Hi, my name is Patty Pennick. I'm head of youth services at the Goffstown Public Library, and today I want to talk to you about one of my very favorite programs that we offer in the children's room called Storytime. I consider it to be an anchor program because we offer it throughout the year in different increments of time, but it's based on age. And our first one is called Movers and Groovers. Typically is held on a Thursday morning at 9:30. We hold about 10 kiddos in that group, and we often have a waiting list. It's a very popular program. In that session, we do a lot of moving and grooving. Those littlest folks, ages 1 through 2.5, really like to move. We read only 2 or 3 short board books, and we do a lot of music activities. We shake scarves and shakers. We blow bubbles, a fan favorite, and that's about it. In preschool story time, which is offered a couple of days a week in different time slots, that's for our kiddos that are age 2.5 through kindergarten. So that's a nice age gap of kids. And in that class, we always have a theme every week, which is a lot of fun to come up with these different themes. And our books, we read at least three picture books, unless we're having a particularly hard time settling that particular day, and then I've been known to cut it to 2 books. But we read these 3 books, we do a couple of movement activities, we talk about the letter of the day, and then we do a craft. And just to give you an idea, our winter session for all of the story times began at the beginning of January, runs for about 6 weeks, and then we take a break to regroup and plan for the next session, which is our spring, and that begins the first week in April. And then we take a little break, regroup, start again in July or end of June for the summer session, and then again in October, beginning of October for our fall session. Another story time that we offer at select Saturdays during the year is called Family Story Time, and it's mirrored very closely on the format for the preschool story time. The big difference being that kids of all ages can come to that, and you don't need to register in advance for that class, whereas the weekday sessions, due to our physical space restrictions in the library, they tend to be a little bit more popular. We do require a Goffstown Library card and for people to register. But just to give you a little bit more of a detailed glimpse on what preschool story time looks like, I mentioned a theme. Last week our theme was trains. This week it is snow and winter. So the 3 books that I chose to read were The Snowy Day. You might remember this one from being younger yourself, by Ezra Jack Keats. That is a fan favorite for sure. I had a couple of littles yell out, "I have that book at home. I love that story." So we enjoyed that. One of my favorite children's authors is Kevin Henkes, and I selected Winter is Here. We talked about the different types of things we see outside when it snows, and there's been plenty of that this week. And then one of my favorite books that I've never read in Storytime before is called Here Comes Jack Frost. And I introduced the book by saying to the children, has anyone ever heard of Jack Frost? Nobody had. And I was able to share a story from my childhood when I was growing up and I would look outside and see the frost on the ground. My mother would say to me, oh, Jack Frost was here. And they all giggled and laughed about that. So after we read our stories, we then moved to the letters of the day. And I have these fun colored bean bags, one for every letter in the alphabet. We talk about what color is this? What letter is this? What sound does the letter make? What words start with these letters, these sounds rather? And I can tell you that we need to keep doing some work on the letters of the day. And then last but not least, our craft for snow was this cool snowflake craft. So the kids are really using their fine motor skills by selecting different colored pieces of tissue paper, gluing them on to the paper, creating a snowflake, and punching a hole in their snowflake, and then tying the ribbon on to hang it at home. So if you have a little person in your life that you think would enjoy this program at the library, we would love to have you here. Or even if you could just spread the word to neighbors and friends, we'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey everybody, this is Stacy, Teen Services Library Assistant. I wanted to let you know that February is Black History Month, and I have a great display of teen books. And so I want you to know that we're going to have books by Black authors that feature Black characters or the Black experience. And so you're definitely going to want to check them out because there is a genre, a book for everybody. For example, if you're into dystopian, or how about this right here, Dread Nation, some zombies, the Civil War, totally fun. And it is a series, well actually a duology. There is another book after this one. But maybe crime, mystery, detective is up your alley. So how about The Getaway by Lamar, Giles? This is another great book. It will be on the display. And I have more because February is a month of love, right? So Love is a Revolution by Renee Watson. That was a great catch, don't you think? So check this one out as well. And don't forget, we did this on the podcast, so you might want to check out the Curious Reader podcast. And fantasy, I'm Not Forgetting You. How about this one here, Blood Like Magic by Lucille Samberry? You might want to check that one out. And if prose is not your thing and graphic novels are, well, I got you covered there too, with The Long Way Down by Jason Reynolds. So you might want to check those out. All of these on display on the second floor.
Hi everyone, Liz here from Adult Services. Now February's here, Valentine's Day coming up, and I know what we're all thinking. Love is in the air. And so today I have to show you romance novels of all the different kinds you could possibly imagine. Perhaps you are into Regency era stories about lords and ladies falling very politely in love. In that case, The Duke and I by Julia Quinn, part of the Bridgerton series, also on Netflix. Perhaps you are into bad boys sweeping violinist YouTube sensations off their feet. In that case, I would recommend The Heart Principle by Helen Hoang. Perhaps you're into hunky Highlanders, sweeping ladies off their feet, in which case I would recommend When a Scot Ties the Knot by Tessa Dare. Or perhaps The Great British Bake Off is more your style. In that case, Paris Delacourt is About to Crumble is exactly your speed, featuring a meet cute on a fictional version of the reality show. Or perhaps a meet cute in an elevator, which leads to a wedding date in The Wedding Date by Jasmine Guillory. Or maybe you enjoy a touch of the fantastic, in which case we have The Rewind by Allison Wynne Scotch, featuring a couple who gets a chance via time travel to do it all again. We have these and many more here at the library, so check out a romance novel this romantic month.